The kingdom looked beautiful. Soft lights, quiet streets, peaceful skies, but no one stayed outside after dark, because in this kingdom, silence didn't mean safety. It meant people were afraid to speak in the heart of it all. The king sat quietly in his court. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He didn't need to, because everyone already knew. If the king wanted something, it was already his. Far away from the palace lived a poor farmer. He owned nothing of value, no land worth envying, no gold, no power, just one thing, a dog who never left his side. The night the king's soldiers arrived, everything felt normal. Until the dog stopped walking. It didn't bark. It didn't move. It just stood there, watching them, carefully. And then, for the first time, the dog growled, not loud, not wild, but low and certain, like it already knew something. No one else did. By the next morning, the dog was gone, and this time, no one dared to ask why. Before the soldiers came, life was quiet, not easy, but honest. The farmer lived alone, with no one to talk to, except the one soul who never left him. Every morning, they walked the same path. No words, no commands. The dog didn't need them, it understood him, in ways no one else ever did. But there was something different. The dog didn't chase birds, didn't react to strangers. It watched, always watching, as if it was waiting for something to be wrong. The village people, they kept their distance, not from the farmer, but from the palace. No one spoke about it openly, but everyone knew something wasn't right. Sometimes, people left for the palace and never came back. No explanation, no questions, just silence. And every time the king's men passed through the village, the dog would stop, not afraid, not aggressive, just alert, like it recognized something hidden beneath the surface. That day, the silence broke, not by voices, but by footsteps, heavy, precise, unfamiliar. No one greeted them, no one asked why they were there, because everyone already knew they weren't here for something good. The soldiers didn't stop in the center. They didn't speak to anyone else. They walked straight to him before the farmer could react. The dog stopped, still, silent, watching them, and then a low growl, not loud, not wild, but certain. The soldiers paused, not because they were afraid, but because they noticed. One of them stepped forward and spoke only one line. "The king has chosen." The farmer frowned. "Chosen what?" The soldier looked down. At the dog. "No." The word came out instantly, without thought, but power. Doesn't ask twice. They didn't hurt him. They didn't shout. They simply took the dog, and as the dog was taken away, it didn't struggle. It didn't bark. It just looked back at him. And just like that, the silence returned. But this time, it felt different. That night, he didn't sleep, not even for a moment, because silence no longer felt safe. By morning, the fear was still there, but something else had taken its place. A decision. He didn't wait. He didn't ask anyone. He walked straight toward the palace. The closer he got, the quieter everything became, as if even the world didn't want him there. The guards didn't stop him. They didn't question him. They simply opened the gates. Inside, everything was perfect, too perfect. No noise, no movement, no life. And at the end of it all, he saw him, the king. The farmer stepped forward. Simple clothes, empty hands, but steady eyes. "I came for my dog." No hesitation, no fear in his voice. A quiet ripple spread through the hall. No one spoke, but everyone felt it. The king didn't react, didn't question, didn't smile. He simply watched him. "You came a long way." His voice was quiet, controlled. for something that no longer belongs to you. The farmer didn't move, didn't lower his gaze. He was never yours. For the first time, the king smiled, just slightly, then earned him back. The court went still. No one moved, no one spoke, because everyone knew. The king never gave anything away without a price. The king leaned forward slightly. Tonight, his voice was calm, too calm. You will go to the old forest. No guards, no weapons. And you will return before sunrise. But there is one condition. You must not lose your way, because if you do, you won't find your way back. The king didn't explain more. He didn't need to, but the court knew. People who went into that forest didn't always return. The farmer stood still, no questions, no hesitation. I'll go. The king smiled faintly. Of course you will. And just like that, the sun began to fall. By the time darkness arrived, he was already standing at the edge of the forest, alone, the moment he stepped inside. The world behind him disappeared. No wind, no sound, just stillness. He kept walking, slow, careful, every step, louder than it should have been. Then, he heard something, not behind him, not ahead, somewhere, beside him. He stopped, looked, listened. Nothing. But something felt wrong. The path looked the same, again and again. He turned back, just to check. There was no path behind him, only trees. He wasn't lost, not yet. But the forest was changing. Then, a sound, footsteps. He wasn't alone anymore. But he didn't run, didn't shout, because fear was exactly what this place wanted. Instead, he remembered the way the dog looked at the soldiers, not scared, not confused, certain. So he stopped searching for the way out and started watching. That's when he noticed it. The shadows didn't match the light. They moved before he did. And in that moment, he understood. This wasn't about finding the path. It was about not trusting what he saw. He didn't move, didn't run, didn't follow the path anymore. Because now, he knew. The forest wasn't changing, the path wasn't moving, something else was controlling what he saw. So he stopped looking for direction and started trusting what didn't change, step by step. He walked forward, not toward the path, but through it, and suddenly, the forest opened. By sunrise, he was back. The court fell silent, again. For the first time, the king's expression changed. I didn't find the way, the farmer said quietly. I realized there was never one. What you built in that forest isn't a test. It's a trap. My dog knew it the moment your men arrived. He smelled it. Something hidden. Something wrong. The king said nothing, because for the first time, he had been seen. Without another word, he gave the order. The dog ran to him, not fast, not wild, but certain. And this time, he didn't look back. Some kings rule with power, but some truths can't be hidden forever.